to this very special edition of the Pace Report, celebrating National Women's Month here at Jazz at Lincoln Center, here in the heart of New York City. What I wanted to do and how I wanted to celebrate National Women's Month is present to you a talent that is the past, the present, and the future. Her name is Miss Georgia Heers, and she hails from Greer, South Carolina. Now, Georgia, you might have heard this name because, one, she just graduated from playing Ella on Broadway, playing opposite George Clooney in his adaptation of Good Night and Good Luck. In addition to that, Georgia also graduated right down the street and earned her master's in performance at the Juilliard School. And she also studied at Oberlin Conservatory in Ohio. Now tonight here on the Pace Report, you are going to see and hear her performing music from her upcoming record, which is about to be released later this summer. In addition to that, I had a chance to sit down and break bread with Georgia. One, reflect about her time on Broadway, starring opposite George Clooney, as well as talk about the education process and how she's still developing as an actress as well as a jazz vocalist. In addition to that, we sit down and talk about some of her famous influences, as well as talk about how she wants to move this music and tradition forward. So sit back, relax, and enjoy highlights of Miss Georgia Heers, celebrating National Women's Month here on the Pace Report, live here at Jazz at Lincoln Center, here in New York City.
like a cross to bear. Some days it's so high, some days it's so hard to bear, but I still love you. Oh, someday you'll see my point of view. I love you. I know you think I'm crazy, but I know my mind's amazing. Knowing how I feel, though you don't want me now. I know someday you'll take a look around, see it where you've been, looking deep within. You'll find you can't believe. Oh, then both our lives will start anew. Someday you'll see my point of view. Then both our lives will start anew. La 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 la. Start anew.
Georgia, I am honored to be not just in your presence, but in honor of National Women's Month. I wanted to do a piece on the future, and you are the future, and you have just paved an incredible road for yourself for the last 5 years. Tonight, my viewers got to see a palette of sad songs, joyous songs, American Songbook, and things in between. How did we get here?
How did we get here? I ask myself that same question whenever I'm putting together a set. I'm like, wow, like, is this gonna work? I kind of like to create a menagerie of music. You know, like I love the jazz tradition and I love the American songbook, but I also have a lot of other influences, and I think that comes from my upbringing and moving around a lot. So I try to incorporate as best as I can every part of myself, and I'm working to do that more. I want to, I want to include more like eclectic or like maybe just not traditionally sung in the atmosphere of jazz. I want to include more songs that are like that. And I think a big encourager of that has been Cecile McLaurin-Salvant, and talking to her about curating sets and curating albums and thinking about things sequentially and really telling a story. So no matter what, feel or genre, because again, genre is like for the people who want to, genre, I'm like, I can see it because the light, Lord have mercy. Okay. I don't know, I'm not so into, I don't think genre is an important thing to be thinking about when you are curating something like a set or an album or a project. It's helpful for marketers, but not very helpful for the artists themselves, because this music is a part of a lineage and a part of like a continuum. And so what might seem like, okay, she put a blues song after a Burt Bacharach song, after a weird contemporary ballad, kind of makes sense to me for some reason.
Well, you have to think about artists like Roberta Flack. If you listen to her first 2 or 3 records, there's folk, there's jazz,
Exactly.
there's
Oh yeah, what's that record she does Suzanne on? And I think that's where she does Trying Times too.
is that the first record, or is that chapter 2, or is it take 2?
No, it is. It's the first.
It's the first. It's okay. Because I look at her, and even Nina Simone, and I would even say to a certain degree, Cecile.
Absolutely.
Because they didn't kind of record what was normal and what was popular. They did, and I think that's part of the record producers and A&R. They kind of took these artists and let them stretch. When you recorded your record, which is about to come out, what were some of the things that you thought about as you were putting your record together?
Well, it was an interesting process because I was awarded a grant, and so had kind of this like deadline in the back of my head of like when I can use these funds to record, you know. And so what I originally had envisioned for my debut album, none of those songs are on the album that we recorded. Ironically, like I very much curated a set of music that was supposed to be, okay, this is my debut album. And then what ended up happening was, you know, I was against the clock, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna have time to arrange and rehearse and get everybody together in order to record this in the deadline that I need to. So what can I do? Well, I can do the songs that I know, and the songs that I have lived for so many years of me learning this music. And so that's what I ended up doing, was playing songs that this band has played for a while. And I think, no, I'm very happy that that's how it worked out, because for a first album, I think myself, I needed to feel comfortable and confident in what I was recording. And I think I was maybe reaching for something that can happen eventually, but for the first record, it's tunes that I know and love and I've been singing for a while. And then there's, you know, some miscellaneous vibes here and there. But yeah, it's songs that felt like home.
When I think of debut records that kicked behind out the gate, I think of Shaka Khan's first record. I think of Erykah Badu's first record.
Yeah.
I think of Roberta Flack's first record.
Absolutely.
I think of
You know about that shit? No.
Corinne Bain Bray's record. The first record. It's just like,
yes.
how are people going to embrace this new record, just like the records I just named you?
Well, I guess that's up to them.
Well, you know, it's
You know, how they'll embrace it. I know how I'd like for them to embrace it. I'd like for them to see me as somebody who really just loves this music and wants to pay tribute to all of the greats you've named. You know, like I love this music, and I also really love singers, you know, like good singers. I feel like they've raised me in a lot of ways in terms of like teaching me what it really means to emote through a song and through lyric. So I hope that people who listen to the album see my appreciation of said legends and see it as me paying homage to the people who came before me, the women specifically who came before me and paved the way in terms of creating these standout debut albums.
Mother told me always to follow the golden rule, and she said it's really a sin to be mean and cruel. So remember, if you're untrue, angels up in heaven are looking at you. You'll never to heaven if break my heart. I've been hearing rumors about how you play around. Though I don't believe what I hear, still it gets me down. If you ever would say goodbye, it would be so awful. The angels would cry. You'll never get to heaven if you break my heart. So you very careful not to make us cry. You won't get to heaven if you break my heart.
I had the honor of interviewing Dionne Warwick a couple of times here on the Pace Report.
Wow,
And
that's amazing.
Aretha, Dionne, Nina, Nancy, those were stylists in their own right.
Yeah.
And tonight you paid homage to Miss Warwick. What was it about Miss Warwick, her style and what she brought to the music that really influenced you?
I think it's what you're talking about, the style, the way that she's such a stylist in even how she like appears. You know, like one of my first impressions of her was watching her on, is it the Ed Sullivan Show? Was it the Ed Sullivan Show? And I was just like, wow, she just, the way she even looked in the camera and sang with that little smirk, like, it just frankly moved me. And I felt like, all right, I think she was the first maybe artist that appeared to me as if she was looking at the people that were looking back at her. Because you know, as a performer, it can sometimes feel like you're on a stage doing the jig, right? And you're the one that's being surveyed. But really, you have the same opportunity to see each person there in front of you and really see them. And I think that's what I felt in watching Dionne perform in the Ed Sullivan Show. She just had so much agency and like really embodied confidence and grace and elegance and class. And then on top of that, I think she's one of the greatest vocalists to have ever lived. So it moved me, and I like, you know, I like the craft of this music. So the technique also really inspired me, and just being able to like sing the way that she sang really just inspired me. I'm like, wow, I want to be like that. I felt the same way when I first saw Sarah Vaughan perform live. I didn't see her perform live in person, but when I watched videos of her performing live, I felt the same way. I'm like, that is a master of her craft.
She's like a hurricane.
Woo! A hurricane.
She's I mean,
yeah.
I have two records of her that I love. Her live record, that live at the Tivoli.
Oh, I had that on repeat for like a year.
I have the CD and the vinyl version. I hear something different every time I listen to she performs. It's like she could come in, the opening, you know, she comes in and she does these fat, and then she can do these ballads, and then she can do these, and then she's a triple threat when she's playing and singing at the same time.
Play too.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's very hard to do, and I noticed when you're on stage, you're like not rushing to tell the message, but you're also taking your time, like Dionne Warwick did.
Yeah.
Is that something that you're still working on?
Absolutely. I think I'll be working on that till I sing my last note. Like, you know, there's so much excitement that you feel as an artist getting on stage. I feel just like this giddiness. I'm like, I want to tell you everything, you know. But that's the art of being, you know, that's the kind of wisdom that you gain over years of singing and performing. Is you can't tell them everything at the first note, you know.
Right.
You have to wait, and I'm working on that
Every
day.
If you listen to Dion do Anyone Who Had a Heart,
Oh my gosh,
she takes her time.
takes her time.
And the person she influenced the most was Luther Vandross.
Ooh, and you can tell.
Yes.
Can you not?
Right. Because if you notice, Luther takes his time.
Ooh, he'll give us a crumb.
Yes.
And we'll be like, ah!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm having myself a time. I mean, I'm having what I want what I have, doing what I like and liking what I do, and I'm having myself a time. I never could save a dime. And so I'm living like a lord, laughing like a loon, dancing in the sun and lying in the moon, and I'm having myself a time. When I hum songs, they're all dumb songs with no reason or rhyme. I'm certainly in my prime. I mean, I'm happy as a bird flying up above. Want a little love and get a little love, and I'm having myself a time. Myself a time. I mean, I'm happy as a bird flying up above. Want a little love and get a little love, and I'm having myself a time. I never could say a dime, and so I'm living like a lord, laughing like a loon, dancing in the sun and sighing in the moon, and I'm having myself a time. When I hum songs, they're all dumb songs with no reason or rhyme. Certainly in my prime. I mean, I'm having what I want, liking what I do, liking what I want and having what I like, and I'm having myself a time.
Education is a very important part of Georgia's molding. You were blessed to go to Oberlin, and Oberlin has some fantastic instructors as well as alumnus. And you also, right up the street, Juilliard. As a young musician, what do you tell musicians as far as what they're looking for as far as education and what to expect when they're looking to go to school?
That's a good question. Wow, that's a good question, because I definitely don't feel I went into my education with the right mentality, but hindsight's always 20/20, right? Like, I think I went to Oberlin not knowing anything about jazz. I was trained in musical theater and classical opera, and then in my junior year, my mom showed me Sarah Vaughan singing Lullaby of Birdland, and my whole world flipped upside down, and I changed, and I said, I had that moment where I was like, this is a master of her craft. I want to do that. So then I went to Oberlin with no formal training of jazz, didn't know what improvising was, nothing. Made a lot of mistakes, loved it. I would advise people to go in knowing, having a clear goal of what you want to accomplish, but not letting that goal stifle the lessons you'll learn inevitably in being in an environment around a whole bunch of young people that are trying to learn and masters who are trying to teach you. I think I went in to Oberlin, I'm happy that I went in as this complete novice, but Juilliard, I went in with an idea, maybe of what I was gonna get, because I was like, more jazz school, I know what this is, and not so much a plan of how I would, you know, ascertain more information. I was just like, it's gonna come to me. So I would advise young people to have plans for themselves and know how to ask questions. That's a real thing. Like, curiosity is a skill, and I'm just learning how to develop that skill of curiosity. So, you know, not being afraid of looking dumb and asking lots and lots of questions, and just taking every opportunity to grow and, you know, really like humble yourself in the greatness of whatever craft you're trying to study. I think that's what I would have told myself. So I guess I would tell that to other students.
I mean, Oberlin, you had Billy Hart, your mentor,
LaTanya
Hall,
Gary Bartz,
yeah,
Eddie Henderson.
Yes.
Deep.
Yes, deep. And then the alumni, we had Casa Overall, you had Theo Croker. There's I think that, you know, with you going to Juilliard right up the street, which segued you going to Broadway right up the street.
Yeah.
I mean,
30-mile radius.
How did the classroom interpret to you co-starring George Clooney in this critically acclaimed, Tony Award winning?
Yeah.
I mean, this is. I mean, when I saw the movie, I like the fact that Mr. Clooney, McCarthyism, because we're kind of living, we're embodying that right now, and then
timely.
Going from film to Broadway.
Yeah.
And then you're playing
Totally different.
and you're playing Ella Fitzgerald, and you're doing this.
Well, actually, you know, they called the character Ella, but they were like, no, this is not based off of Ella Fitzgerald. They wanted to make that very clear. So she was kind of an amalgamation of all the divas of the time.
Okay.
Of those 1950s. But, you know, she's called Ella, so.
Right. And you're doing this night after night, sometimes twice a night. What did we learn from Juilliard in Oberlin that manifested differently when you're on the Broadway stage with George Clooney every night?
I think I learned a deep confidence in my ability to sing this music, like through my training at Oberlin, and then especially at Juilliard, because what happened at Juilliard was, it was a lot of like, whoa, wait, you don't know the melody. Do you know the melody? And I was like, I thought I knew the melody. And then I come to find out I don't know the melody because I haven't listened to the original recording. And, you know, it just, it tightened me up a lot in a lot of ways, and made me more confident and more confident in my ability to perform this music with the knowledge of the tradition, the history, you know, literally like the theory of the music. I think what I gained was a confidence in going to both of these institutions, but primarily Juilliard. We had a class called Rhythm Section, and every Monday we just came in, and Kenny Washington, the sitting in the classroom, waiting for everyone to come in, and then we'd all just play the selected tunes that he told us to learn the week before. And you know, we as students and slackers, we're like, oh my gosh, we have so much work. Like now we gotta learn these 3 tunes and I gotta learn the lyrics. And me, you know, I got a squirrel for a brain, so lyrics are hard for me. So I would always come in just like, and beating myself up like, man, I didn't get it this time. But that built a resilience of like, understanding the importance of knowing this music, knowing the lyrics, knowing the changes, just being knowledgeable. And so I think I really gained a confidence after leaving Juilliard of like, okay, I think I know what I'm talking about. So then getting to Broadway, there were so many other factors like thousands of people in the audience, shows twice a day, that could have thrown me if I didn't have that foundation of confidence of like, all right, the music is the least of my worries. You know what I mean?
You know why Barbra Streisand said she would never do Broadway again?
Why?
She said that when she did Funny Girl, she was drained.
Yes.
She was drained. Yes. And I understand that. And then for her to leave Broadway and then do the film adaptation, woo, which threw her into, she was already a pop. She was already becoming a pop star.
Yeah.
But did that drain you after the musical was done? When you were done, what
are you kidding?
What did you do for like a month? Because I know you had a detox.
I had a full detox. I literally was like, I just was outside. Like, and not outside in these streets, but like literally out in nature. I just needed to be out, feeling the sun and breathing the air and doing something different every day, because really that repetition is what gets you. And the repetition is why I have so much respect for people who are in Broadway and in the theater world, because it's a practice of doing the same thing,
repetition,
at the same level every day, sometimes twice a day. Like for me, that consistency was not there before going and doing this show. Like I didn't have any idea that, you know, I do a gig and then I could rest, and you know, a couple days later I'll do a gig, and it was just always something new. That's what this music is it's literally trying to make things new. But it was the complete opposite practice in theater. So I understand why she said that. It drained me too. I needed to touch grass. That's what I needed to do. I needed to be outside, and also just, I think singing different forms of music too, because I had sang it was only 4 songs. Same 4 tunes every day. That killed me. It kind of killed me. Mm-hmm. And like, thank God that is a part of my story, and I'm so happy to have done that. But it made me appreciate what we do as jazz musicians so much more. Yeah. I gained such a deeper appreciation for really improvising, and even just improvising melody. Like, cause I would try to do it and they'd be like, Georgia, sing the melody. And I'm like, it killed me. But it's a different practice, and I learned to appreciate that very much. But yeah, I was drained by the end.
Leading your own band. You got Russell, you got William, and you got Jimmy, and all of them are I've seen all 3 of those gentlemen in some trying situations. Woo! I'm not saying trying, I'm talking about here's the buoy, here's the life raft. Now you got what you gonna do, especially that gentleman over there. Leading your own band, picking your musicians, what do you look for, and what are your expectations of leading a band?
What do I look for? You know, I'm learning as I do more gigs as a leader that there's a synergy that needs to happen off the bandstand. You know, like we all have to, at the very least, get along. what I would love is that we all love each other. And that's something I'm grateful, so grateful to have found in this band is there's a familiarity. Like, it feels like family, and that transfers to the music so much so, you know, like, it really is true, you know, if it's a contentious energy before you play music, how are you gonna play good music? I mean, sometimes that works, but for me at least, my expectation is that we all, one, respect each other, love each other, and know a little bit about each other, you know, that would be great. But I see myself as so green and so new in like leading a band, because for most of the years that I've been back in New York City, I've been doing like sideman jobs and coming and joining a band that already exists, which taught me a lot actually about making my own bands. But yeah, I love a band that's also not afraid of me, you know, because sometimes as a band leader, it can be intimidating. You know, you're the one paying them, so it can create sometimes a tentative energy from the musicians. But I love when it feels collaborative and it feels like people are not afraid to, my band members are not afraid to tell me like, hey, this would be cool if we did this, or like.
I saw that this evening.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of that this evening, and that's good. I mean, that's called teamwork. And I always say, if it's a team, it's the dream.
Hello. You should make a shirt.
Yeah, yes.
Before we looked at each other in the same way then, but I can't remember where or when. The clothes you're wearing are the clothes you wore. The smile you were smiling is the same way then, but I can't remember where or when. Things that happen for the first time seem to be happening again, and so it looks as though we have met before and laughed before and loved before, but who knows?
does Black American music mean to you?
Lord, I could not answer that if I had a million hours. But I'll try. Black American music, what it means to me, it means, I guess, the foundation of all American music. It means my childhood. It means songs that got me through some of my darkest times. It means innovation and tradition, and Black American music really is what I'm trying to study for the rest of my life. So it means my life. And I think it also is important to note that Black American music is not a monolith, and it's ever evolving. And I'm happy to be a blip in this lineage, but it will continue to evolve. And yeah, Black American music is BAM, man. It's BAM. BAM is for the children. Black American music is for the children. It's for the old folks. It's for everybody. It's this country's music. It is literally the foundation of all of this country's music. So I don't think I could say what one thing it means to me, but
I get it.
You know. It's spirit. And it's truth.
That'll do it again for another edition of the Pace Report, reporting live here at the House of Swing, Jazz and Lincoln Center here in New York City, celebrating National Women's Month. I'd like to personally thank the incomparable Georgia Heers for her time. Make sure you support and look out for her debut record, which will be released late spring, early this summer, as well as her performance tour, which is going to be in support of the new record. For more information, please visit her online at georgiaheers.com, as well as follow her on social media by way of Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Also, I'd like to personally thank the staff and management at Dizzy's and Jazz at Lincoln Center for their warm hospitality. As always, people, I can't stress this more than enough. Please like, share, and subscribe to my videos and leave comments. Until next time, remember, if it's in the groove, it'll make you move. Until next time, peace.
To come home to be so nice.